Let me tell you, this is the most valuable gaming laptop this year. Let's review Asus TUF A16. This laptop right here is Asus TUF A16 2024. It has AMD Ryzen 7940HX processor alongside Nvidia RTX 4070 at just $1,800. Yes, the price is insane. But let's get to the review. Let's start with the body and chassis design. As you can see, this laptop has a different design than other Asus TUFs. Why is that? Because it's an limited edition for East Asian markets called Devon Anime or something like that, and you can only find this laptop and this edition in the East Asian countries like China. And because of that, this part will be a little different. The white color is just beautiful. I like it, and the only problem I have with it is I have concerns about the dirts or scuffs or something like that on the white body, but it is beautiful and I like the composition of this white and the blue accent they used in this laptop. I like it, and the WASD button is also has a blue tint to it, which is just beautiful. And also I should say the screen bezels are also white. I like it, but the lid is a little greenish. I don't like the greenish of this lid, but it is okay, and I prefer more bluer color for the lid, but it is okay. And I should tell you that the keyboard is a little darker, which is good, but it has a little blue accent to it. Anyway, you will have one zone RGB on this laptop and you can change it, but I like the blue color here. It's one of the best blue accents I've ever seen. Also, on the top of keyboard, we have 4 buttons to set volume, mute microphone, or open Armor Crate app, which is good. And also on top of the keyboard, we have 4 LED indicators, which I love. I love the position of these LEDs. Why? Because I can see it. And I don't know why Asus doesn't use these LEDs or this location for their higher end laptops like Asus Zephyrus G16. I couldn't see the LEDs on G16, and here we are with a cheaper model and better design. And about the keyboard is a full-size keyboard. It has numpad and I like it. It is one of the best keyboards I've seen, and I like the keyboard, I like the layout, I like everything about it, and everything is fine, at least for me. I like the texture. It's a little different from the normal Asus TUF in the market, and it's just better. And also the trackpad is glass and I like it. It has good clickiness to it, and also it has nice precision. I like it, but anyway, you're gonna use a gaming mouse on this laptop. Okay, let's talk about ports. We have one USB type A port on the right and the whole bunch of ports on the left. We have one audio combo jack which has a good sound quality on the left, one USB type A port which has USB 3.2 at I think 5 gigabits per second, and we have 2 Type-C ports, one of which should be USB 4, but it is not. I don't know why, but the cheaper model with AMD Ryzen 8945HS processor has USB 4, but this model with better processor doesn't have USB 4. I don't know why. They are both USB 3 ports, and one of them supports PD charging and DisplayPort 1.4, which is good. And we have another port for HDMI and another one to charge your laptop, and RJ45 at 1 gigabit per second. I should also mention that the charger in the box can charge this laptop with up to 280 watts of power, which is so good because this CPU and this GPU needs that use. For this section, I can give this laptop an easy 9 out of 10 score. I like the design here, I like everything about it, but I wish it had one more USB Type A or Type-C ports because it's a gaming laptop anyway, and I'm gonna use one of my ports to plug in my mouse, my external keyboard, or anything like that. Okay, let's get to the next part. For the display, I can say it has one of the best screens out there. Let me show you. Just let me show you how this screen is good. It has 2.5K, 165 Hz, 16-inch screen. I think all of new Asus TUF series in 2024 has 16-inch screens. And this is good. I like it and there is nothing wrong about it. I like the 16-inch screen. It has 400 to 450 nits of brightness, which is nice. And also it has 100% of sRGB color coverage and 75% of AdobeRGB color coverage, which is nice. I just like the color accuracy on this screen, and playing games, doing my Premiere edits, After Effects workloads, everything on this machine was just perfect, and I didn't have any problems when I was doing anything with this screen. It was just good, and I can give it a 9 out of 10 score. It was just good. So let's get to the performance. This laptop right here has an AMD 7940HX processor with 16 cores and 32 threads. 16 performance cores. There is no efficiency core here. They are all powerful cores. Also with Nvidia RTX 4070 at 140 watts. Just the specs can show you how well it can perform. But I should say that 8 gigabytes for 2024 is not enough for a VRAM. I think they should at least upgrade it the 4070 to 4070 Super this year to let us see how this 4070 can perform with 10 gigabytes or 12 gigabytes VRAM. We needed that, and here we are. I was watching Hellblade system requirements, Hellblade 2 system requirements, and I can just say that games like Hellblade, Alan Wake or something like that can't perform well enough with 4070 because of 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Nvidia, please fix this. I should mention this one problem with this laptop, just with this variant we have here. This laptop has only one 16 gigabytes of RAM stick, which is not enough for especially AMD laptop, because AMD's performance is too much dependent on the RAM. And unfortunately, our model has only one stick of 16 gigabytes of RAM. Because of this problem, our tests are not that fair, unfortunately. Before getting to the benchmarks, I should say you can upgrade this laptop to 32 or even 64 gigabytes of RAM, or you can also upgrade it to 96 gigabytes of RAM. I saw a video in Hardware Connect's channel that they had 248 gigabytes of RAM stick, which is good. You can just do it without any problem and upgrade your laptop to 96 gigabytes of RAM. But if you just gonna use it, if you don't, you will lose FPS with too much RAM. So let's get to the benchmarks. In Cinebench R23, we tested this laptop with a 10 minutes runtime, and just let me tell you, this CPU here is just powerful. It's one of the best performing CPUs I've ever seen in my life, and just look at the numbers. For single core, it's not that high, but for multi-core, we got more than 32,000 scores. It's like 14,700K in the desktop, and I just amazed by how much this laptop can perform, and just I like it. I can't say anything wrong about it, and the CPU here is just perfect. I like it, and if you want to play games, this CPU is a way to go, I think, for you. We also tested Cinebench 2024, and for the benchmarks, we got 111 scores for single core. For multi-core, we got 1454 score for multi-core, which is good. I like it, and it is one of the best scores we got for Cinebench 2024 in multi-core. And for the GPU, we got 11,577 score, which is good. For the temperature, we got around 90 to 100 degrees Celsius, but the temperature was well managed and we didn't get thermal issues. And for the wattage, in Cinebench R23 and 2024, we got around 130 watts, or a little below or a little less, which is good. For the Geekbench 6, we got okay results, as you can see, but it's not that fair for AMD CPUs especially, and it's not that accurate, but here we are with Geekbench 6 scores. We also tested Adobe Premiere on this machine. As we all know, AMD CPUs are not for Adobe applications, and we got 8 minutes and 51 seconds render time, which is one of the worst scores we've ever seen in any gaming laptops. One of the reasons is the limitations on the RAM, as I said earlier, and other reason is AMD is not good for Adobe applications. We will add DaVinci Resolve in the future to make our reviews more reliable, but it is okay if you don't want to use Adobe applications. We also tested Adobe After Effects in this machine to see how it can perform in single threaded applications and GPU dependent ones, and we got 8 minutes and 48 seconds, which is high because it's an Adobe application with AMD CPU with, again, 1 SD of RAM. We also tested Time Spy that can show us how well it can perform in games or 3D applications. We got good results, as you can see on the screen, and the thing that I like about this laptop is the CPU scores are insanely high. I like it. We also tested the SSD on this machine, and as we always can expect from SN560 Western Digital, the scores are reasonable and good enough. But you can upgrade it with 2 upgradable SSD slots easily. For the games, we tested Cyberpunk 2077 in Ray Tracing Ultra preset, in Ray Tracing Ultra with frame generation, in Ultra preset without Ray Tracing and without FG and without frame generation. And we also tested one situation without any help from AI or something like that, with Ray Tracing and Ultra preset without no DLSS and no frame generation. As you can see on the screen, scores are okay for a 2K screen. We also tested Rainbow Six Siege on this machine with ultra high and low presets, and all of them were great. As you can see on the screen, we got 361 maximum frame rates on the lowest setting, which can show us the CPU here is too powerful, but we could get better FPS with 32 GB of RAM. We also tested Valorant on this machine, and more than 600 FPS for the maximum and more than 450 for the average FPS, which is just insane for a 2K screen, isn't it? We also tested Apex Legends to see how well it can perform in GPU heavy games, and the scores are just fine like other laptops, and they were fine. We also added Shadow of Tomb Raider in our tests, and as you can see, we got 94 FPS in average, and the scores are fine. We have no problem with it, and I can say you can play any games on this machine. For the performance part, I can give this laptop a 9 out of 10 score, but we're gonna update the description with 32 GB of RAM stick, with new tests, with Adobe Premiere and some other tests, so we can show you how well it can perform with 32 GB of RAM. So if you're watching this video, subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our next videos, and you can come back and see the description for the updated scores. Okay, let's talk about speakers, webcam, and battery life. Speakers on this machine was good enough, I think, and you can play games, you can watch videos without any problem. But if you want to play music, to dance with your friends, I can suggest you to just buy a $50 JBL speaker without any problem, like JBL Go 3 or 4. They'll get the job done, and they are much better than these speakers. So this is the webcam quality of Asus TUF A16. It is a 720p webcam, but it is okay. It gets the job done. What do you think about the mic quality? Tell us in the comments below. Battery life on this machine was good enough. It has 90 watt-hour battery. With that amount of battery, 4 to 5 hours to 6 hours of battery life is reasonable with this HX powerful and power-hungry processor. And this 2K screen, I can say the battery life was good, but you can't expect AMD battery life with their HX processors. Why? Because 8-core HS processor can give you more battery life but less power. HX powerful CPU is obviously power hungrier than an 8-core CPU, so you will get half as battery life, like 4 to 5 hours to 6 hours of battery life. But you can expect, anyway, it's an AMD CPU, and you can expect better battery life when you are doing some light tasks or even using your laptop in low brightness modes or battery saver modes. So, should you buy Asus TUF A16 2024? Yes, if you want to buy a gaming laptop to play your games at the highest FPS possible and you only got 1800 bucks, this laptop is a way to go. Why? Because it has the most powerful laptop CPU in it. It has one of the best laptop GPUs in it, and it has just a gorgeous screen. So I can easily recommend you to buy this laptop with a 9 out of 10 score. Just go and grab it. What do you think about Asus TUF A16? Tell us in the comments below, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.